Welcome to Speak English Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak English Podcast. I'm David, and I have my amazing co-host Sarah here with me today. Sarah, how are you doing?
Thank you, David. I'm doing fantastic, and I'm so excited about today's episode. We have something really special planned for our listeners.
That's right. Today we're tackling one of the biggest struggles English learners face. Tell me, have you ever felt stuck translating in your head when speaking?
Oh, absolutely. And if you're nodding right now, this episode will change everything for you. We're revealing the secret to thinking directly in English.
Imagine having conversations without that annoying pause while your brain translates. Picture yourself responding naturally and confidently in English.
That's exactly what we're going to teach you today. This technique has helped thousands of students speak English more fluently and naturally.
Before we dive in, if you want to transform your English speaking skills, hit that like button right now. It really helps us reach more English learners.
And don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell. We share practical English tips every week that you can use immediately to improve your fluency.
Plus, we have an amazing challenge at the end that will kickstart your English thinking journey. So grab your headphones and let's get started.
Trust me, by the end of this episode, you'll have a completely new approach to English that will make speaking feel natural and effortless.
So let's talk about what it really means to speak English without translating, because this is where most English learners get stuck and frustrated. When you first started learning English, your brain naturally created this mental translator that works behind the scenes.
Your brain developed this automatic process where it takes your thoughts, converts them into your native language first, then translates everything into English before you can speak. This translation process happens so fast that you might not even realize it's happening.
Think of it like this. Imagine your brain has two different operating systems running at the same time. And every time you want to speak English, your brain has to switch between these systems, translate the information, and then output the result.
This mental translation creates a delay in your speech, makes your English sound formal and unnatural, and prevents you from developing that smooth, confident flow that native speakers have when they communicate with others in everyday conversations.
The goal is to develop what we call direct English thinking, where your brain processes thoughts, emotions, ideas, and responses directly in English without that middle translation step that slows everything down and creates unnecessary barriers.
When you master direct English thinking, your brain starts operating like a native speaker's brain, where English thoughts flow naturally and automatically without any conscious effort to translate or convert from another language system.
This doesn't mean forgetting your native language or replacing it completely. Instead, it means training your brain to have two separate language channels that can work independently without interfering with each other during conversations.
The beautiful thing about direct English thinking is that it allows you to access English vocabulary, expressions, and natural speech patterns automatically, just like how you naturally access words and phrases in your native language every day.
Most importantly, direct English thinking eliminates that mental exhaustion that comes from constantly translating back and forth. Your English conversations become effortless, natural, and much more enjoyable for both you and the people you're speaking with.
Once you develop this skill, you'll notice that your English starts to have personality, emotion, and natural rhythm, instead of sounding like a formal translation that lacks the warmth and authenticity of genuine human communication and expression.
Let me show you exactly how this translation process slows you down with a real example that happens to English learners every single day. Imagine someone asks you a simple question like, "What did you have for breakfast this morning?" And watch what happens in your brain.
If you're translating, your brain first processes that question, converts it into your native language to understand it completely, then thinks about your breakfast in your native language, formulates the answer, translates it back to English, and finally speaks. That's a lot of steps.
But when you think directly in English, you hear, "What did you have for breakfast?" And your brain immediately accesses English memories and vocabulary. You might think, "Oh, I had coffee and toast," and respond instantly without any translation delays or mental gymnastics.
Here's another perfect example. When you see a beautiful sunset, instead of thinking about it in your native language first and then translating those thoughts, your brain automatically thinks, "Wow, that's gorgeous," or "What a beautiful evening," directly in English.
The difference in response time is incredible. Translation might take 5 to 10 seconds of mental processing, while direct English thinking gives you instant, natural responses that sound authentic and conversational rather than formal and calculated.
You can also notice this difference in your emotional responses. When something funny happens, instead of laughing and thinking in your native language first, your brain would automatically think that's hilarious or so funny directly in English with genuine emotion.
Direct English thinking also changes how you process what you hear. When someone tells you a story in English, instead of translating their words to understand them, you follow the story naturally in English, which makes conversations flow much more smoothly.
This natural processing extends to your inner voice too. Throughout your day, that little voice in your head that comments on things starts speaking English automatically, making observations like "it's getting cold" or "I need to hurry up," without any translation effort.
The rhythm and flow of your speech changes dramatically as well. Instead of choppy translated sentences, you start using natural English patterns with appropriate pauses, emphasis, and intonation that makes your speech sound much more native and authentic.
Most importantly, you'll notice that your confidence increases because you're not constantly worried about making translation mistakes or finding the perfect word equivalents. Your English becomes more spontaneous, genuine, and expressive in every conversation.
When you master thinking directly in English, the transformation in your speaking ability is absolutely incredible. Your speaking speed increases dramatically because you eliminate that frustrating translation delay that makes conversations feel slow and awkward for everyone involved.
You start sounding much more natural and authentic in your conversations because you're using genuine English expressions and natural speech patterns instead of formal, translated sentences that sound robotic and lack personality and human warmth.
Your pronunciation and intonation improve significantly because you're not fighting between two different language systems in your mind. Your mouth and brain work together seamlessly to produce smooth, flowing English with proper rhythm and natural emphasis.
One of the biggest benefits is that your listening comprehension gets so much better because you stop trying to translate everything you hear. You start understanding English as English, which makes movies, podcasts, and conversations much more enjoyable and effortless.
Your confidence levels skyrocket because you're no longer constantly worried about making translation mistakes or finding perfect word equivalents. You feel comfortable expressing yourself naturally, which makes every English conversation more relaxed and enjoyable.
You also develop a much richer vocabulary because you start learning words and expressions in their natural English context, rather than as direct translations. This helps you understand nuances, emotions, and cultural meanings that translations often miss completely.
Your ability to express emotions and personality in English becomes much stronger. Instead of sounding formal and distant, your English starts reflecting who you really are, with humor, warmth, enthusiasm, and all the qualities that make you unique as a person.
You'll notice that English conversations become much less mentally exhausting. Without constant translation, your brain can focus on actually connecting with people, sharing ideas, and enjoying the social aspects of communication rather than just surviving the language barrier.
Your response time in conversations becomes instant and natural. You can participate in fast-paced discussions, make jokes, ask questions, and contribute meaningfully without those awkward pauses that happen when your brain is busy translating back and forth constantly.
Perhaps most importantly, you start enjoying English instead of seeing it as a challenge to overcome. Speaking English becomes a pleasure rather than a stressful task, which motivates you to practice more and continue improving your fluency naturally and consistently.
Let's get practical with a step-by-step method that will train your brain to think directly in English. Step 1 is internal monologue practice. For just 10 minutes each day, narrate everything you're doing in simple English using present tense sentences.
Start with basic actions like, I'm making coffee, I'm checking my phone, I'm feeling tired, I'm walking to the kitchen. Keep your sentences simple and focus on describing your immediate actions and feelings without trying to be perfect or complex in your descriptions.
Step 2 involves emotion labeling throughout your entire day. Every time you feel something, immediately identify that emotion in English. Feel happy? Think, I'm happy. Feel frustrated? Think, I'm frustrated. Train your brain to recognize emotions directly in English.
Step 3 is visual association practice. As you move through your day, look at objects around you and think their English names immediately without any mental translation. See a car, think car. See a bird, think bird. Make English your brain's automatic first response.
Step 4 is having imaginary conversations with yourself in English about your day, your plans, your opinions, and your dreams. This builds the neural pathways for direct English thinking in a completely pressure-free environment where you can practice safely.
Step 5 involves expanding your English immersion gradually. Change your phone settings to English. Watch English content without subtitles. Listen to English music, and surround yourself with English input so your brain gets comfortable operating in English mode.
Step 6 is practicing English self-talk during routine activities. While brushing your teeth, showering, or cooking, maintain a constant stream of English thoughts about what you're doing, how you're feeling, and what you're planning to do next in your day.
Step 7 involves setting specific English thinking times throughout your day. Choose 3 daily activities like eating breakfast, commuting to work, or exercising, and commit to thinking entirely in English during these designated periods every single day.
Step 8 is English reflection practice. At the end of each day, spend 5 minutes thinking about your day entirely in English. What did you do? How did you feel? What went well? What could be better? This strengthens your English thinking muscles systematically.
Remember, consistency is more important than perfection. Start with just a few minutes of English thinking each day and gradually increase the time as your brain becomes more comfortable operating in English mode. Be patient with yourself during this natural learning process.
One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to eliminate translation is attempting to switch to complete English thinking overnight. This creates enormous pressure and anxiety that actually makes the process harder and more frustrating than it needs to be.
Instead of forcing yourself to think only in English immediately, gradually increase your English thinking time each day. Start with 5 minutes, then 10, then 15. This gentle approach allows your brain to adapt naturally without overwhelming stress or resistance.
Another common error is perfectionism. Many learners get frustrated when they can't find the exact English equivalent of a thought or feeling. Remember that languages express ideas differently, and sometimes the English version will be simpler or use completely different concepts.
Don't worry about finding perfect translations for every thought. Instead, focus on expressing the general idea or feeling in simple English words that capture the essence of what you want to communicate, even if it's not a direct word-for-word equivalent.
Many people make the mistake of only practicing English thinking during formal study sessions. The real transformation happens when you integrate this practice into your normal daily activities, making English thinking a natural habit rather than a special exercise.
Avoid limiting your English thinking to study time only. Practice while cooking, walking, shopping, or doing any routine activity. The more you integrate English thinking into real-life situations, the faster your brain will adapt to operating naturally in English.
Some learners give up too quickly when their brain keeps defaulting back to their native language. This is completely normal and expected. Your brain has been using your native language for years, so be patient and persistent with your new English thinking practice.
Don't get discouraged if you catch yourself thinking in your native language frequently at first. Simply notice it happening, gently redirect your thoughts to English, and continue practicing without judgment or self-criticism about your natural learning process.
Another mistake is trying to think complex, sophisticated thoughts in English too early. Start with simple, basic thoughts, and gradually build complexity as your English. Thinking becomes more natural and automatic, over time and consistent practice.
Keep your initial English thinking simple and practical. Focus on basic observations, simple emotions, and everyday activities before attempting complex philosophical thoughts or detailed planning. Simple thinking builds the foundation for more advanced English processing later.
Here's your exciting challenge for this week that will jumpstart your direct English thinking journey. Choose 3 specific daily activities that you do every single day, like brushing your teeth, preparing breakfast, or walking to work, and commit completely.
During these 3 chosen activities, narrate everything in English, even if it's just silently in your mind. For example, while brushing your teeth, think, "I'm putting toothpaste on my brush. The water feels cold. I need to brush for 2 minutes. My teeth feel clean now."
Make your English narration as detailed as possible during these activities. Describe what you see, what you feel, what you're doing, and what you're planning to do next. This constant English commentary trains your brain to operate naturally in English mode.
At the end of each day this week, spend exactly 5 minutes reflecting on your entire day using only English thoughts. Ask yourself questions like, what did I do today? How did I feel? What made me happy? What was challenging? What am I planning for tomorrow?
Write down or record yourself talking about one interesting thing that happened during your day, but do it entirely in English without any planning or translation. Just speak naturally about your experience, focusing on expressing yourself rather than being perfect.
Pay attention to your emotions throughout the week and immediately label them in English. Feel excited about something? Think I'm excited. Feel tired after work? Think I'm exhausted. This builds automatic English emotional processing that makes conversations more natural.
Challenge yourself to have short imaginary conversations in English about topics you care about. Talk to yourself about your hobbies, your goals, your opinions, or your plans. These mental conversations build confidence for real English conversations with other people.
Keep a simple English thinking journal where you write 3 sentences each day about your English thinking progress. Note what felt natural, what was challenging, and what you want to focus on improving tomorrow. This tracking helps you stay motivated and aware.
Share your progress and experiences with us in the comments section below this episode. Tell us which 3 activities you chose for your English thinking practice and describe how it felt to think directly in English during those moments throughout your week.
Remember, this challenge is about building a new habit, not about perfection. Be patient with yourself, celebrate small victories, and enjoy the process of training your brain to think naturally in English. We believe in you and we're excited to hear about your success.
Today we explored how to break free from mental translation and start thinking directly in English. We learned that this skill eliminates delays, makes your speech natural, and builds genuine confidence in every conversation you have.
We showed you practical steps like internal monologue practice, emotion labeling, and visual association that train your brain to operate naturally in English mode. Remember, consistency matters more than perfection in this journey.
We discussed common mistakes like trying to change overnight and being perfectionist about translations. The key is gradual progress, patience with yourself, and integrating English thinking into your daily routine activities.
Your weekly challenge involves choosing 3 daily activities for English thinking practice and daily reflection time. This systematic approach will build the neural pathways you need for natural English fluency and confidence.
If you made it this far, it's because you really want to improve your English fluency. Hit that subscribe button and give us a like to help more English learners discover these life-changing techniques we share every week.
We love hearing about your progress and experiences. Share your English thinking journey with us in the comments below. Your success stories inspire other learners and help build our amazing English learning community here.
If this episode helped you understand direct English thinking better, comment "Fluency" below so we know this content was valuable for your English learning journey. Your feedback helps us create even better content for you.
Thank you so much for listening to Speak English Podcast. Keep practicing, stay consistent with your English thinking, and remember that every small step brings you closer to natural fluency. See you in our next episode!